Good afternoon and Happy New Year. I'm very happy to welcome my first guest in 2024, Mrs. Bahia Haifi Gold. She's an
Yes,
actress and model and storyteller as well. How are you, Bahia? Everything is fine?
I'm good. Thank you. Everything is wonderful.
Thank you very much for receiving the invitation and Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year's.
Uh, First, I want to ask you about how did it started your interest into the arts, and how did you become a professional performer?
The arts, it's since I've been a little girl. Anything I could put my hands on, anything. And also because I was really bad in school, I was not interested. And I believe I remember when we were reading plays and learning plays, one time the teacher said to memorize a monologue. And when we came to the classroom, I thought we had to act, and I did it. And everyone was laughing except the teacher who said, "You should really pursue this." So I did theater. I grew up in France, and then I came to the US to learn some more. Yeah.
Yes, but I know, Bahia, your name is Arabic. Do you know what it means?
Yes, I'm from Algeria. I was born in Algeria. I grew up in France.
Very nice.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Bahia means beautiful.
Thank
Bahia.
you. Yes, I know. I know Bahia. Yes. Uh-huh.
uh,
It's a hard one to live up to,
ça-
but yeah.
yes, ça veut dire très belle.
Oui, oui, exactement. Mhm.
And tell me about when did you arrive in the United States?
I arrived, I was 23 years old, so it's been 30 years.
Really? Yes.
Yes.
And tell me, how did you start to land your first role in cinema? Because did you try to get into casting, find an agent? What was your process?
Yes, definitely. I had an agent, and I was hiding behind acting classes for a very long time because I was afraid, and I didn't think my English was good enough, and I was like, I'm going to be typecast as a French girl because of my accent and things like that. But
Yes.
so
Yes.
that was difficult. I did a lot of commercials, a lot of commercial work. And then one day, this agent I had, she sent me this script about Mary. And I'm a very spiritual person. And so for me, I grew up Muslim. I'm not practicing per se, but for me, Mary is an ascended master. And I thought giving her a voice is a privilege and an honor. And so I completely dived into the part. And it's probably my best work, maybe my last, but I don't care. It's okay with me.
Uh, Yes. Um, I think the character of Mary, it was portrayed many times in cinema, in theater, in
Mm.
television. Tell me, what was your approach to reflect her through you, and through direction you have
Yeah.
received and through the script? How did you dive into her spiritual journey?
So, um, the last acting classes I ever took was at the Imagined Life with Diana Castle. And I
Hmm.
suggest anybody in the United States that lives in LA to take her class, because before you take that class, you don't understand acting. I mean, I've done everything else before. And the technique is you don't look at the character, especially Mary, and say, okay, I am now Mary, the Blessed Mother. You don't. You absorbed the story and you relive everything viscerally
Hmm.
with your five senses. And so I did not
Yes.
try, I didn't tell myself, oh, you're playing Mary, you're playing Mary. I told myself, you are a Jewish mother back in the days, and your son is going to be Jesus. And I just went through the whole story, completely reliving everything, reliving walking with him, the crucifixion, reliving every single moment in my imagination. And then, so when we were on set, I was there. I was not in LA. I was in Nazareth. I was there viscerally, to a point
Hmm.
where I always had my eyes closed on set. I also thought to um, one of the major key components to playing this part, you have to be with God. You have to be with Source. You have to believe. And so I was in meditation all day long. And oftentimes when it was my turn, they were afraid. They thought I was gone, and they were afraid they would come and tap me on the shoulder and be like, Bahia, we're ready for you. And I would just be there. And I didn't leave it. I just kept sticking with story. You don't try to have a different imagination or think that you're Mary. You just are that woman back then going through all of it. And so that
Hmm.
was very, very emotional. And then it's in you, and they believe you, you know.
Yes. I remember many actors who played spiritual roles. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Willem Dafoe did Christ in The Last Temptation of Christ,
Mhm.
and Jim Caviezel did also the role of the Christ in Mel Gibson. The Passion of the Christ.
Mhm. Yeah.
And many of them, talked about something unnatural that happened to them when
Mhm.
they work on these roles. I remember Jim Caviezel said he was struck by lightning. You
Yes.
know,
Mhm.
and tell me, something happened to you during the shooting or after?
Well, the one on, I think, unnatural thing was at my casting audition.
Hmm.
I was given the. It's very rare when you go audition for a part that you're going to get 7 pages to memorize of a monologue.
Uh-huh. Yes.
And I did not feel like I was memorizing. They were words that were just, I was absorbing everything. In fact, something that happened during the set at the end of the movie, where I do the long monologue, that's the monologue I memorized for the casting. And it's very long, and we did it all day, and I did it maybe 13, 14 times nonstop. And the last take, I asked the first AD, and I said, there was a lot of extras that were in my line vision. And I said, they're getting tired of it. They're going like this, they're rolling their eyes. And I said to him, what I'm saying is very important for humanity. And I would like for everyone in this room, every actor, whether they believe in Christ or Mary or God or not, I don't care. I want them to believe right now, because that's what we're getting paid for. And I said, I want them to look at me in the eyes, and I want them to hear the message.
Hmm.
And I said, it's important for me because I'm making eye contacts with every one of them, because if my words don't land, then my job is not well done.
Hmm.
And he said, okay. I said, don't point anyone out, just make a general announcement. And he did. And then we did it again, and everyone looked at me, and all my words went in. I mean, I had the whole room crying for the first time. And they had to change what we call a POV, a point of view with the cameras, to now look at them crying, because they were having the proper emotion during the monologue. And so now everyone is in the movie. Even usually when you're an extra, we see your silhouette, we don't necessarily see your face. And now everyone is in it. And I said, this is very, very important when we are acting, that you believe. If you think you're going to be Superman, you have to believe you can fly, or else your audience
Yes.
cannot believe you. Well,
Hmm.
this is, the story of Mary, the mother of Jesus, and we all have to believe it. And for me, it was very important, as especially as a spiritual person, because I believed every single word of it. So that
Yes.
was like very magical, I think. And it's interesting you mentioned Jim Caviezel, because the producers of this film, this was their first feature film,
Yes.
and with
Uh-huh.
that, they went and did Paul the Apostle, and that's when Jim is in it.
Yes.
And I was invited to the premiere, and I was flying to go visit my family in France. So, but we were meant to meet one day, and I'm sure we will. So it's one of my dreams to actually meet him in person.
Yes. Yes, yes, actually, as well, my wife is from Colombia and she liked very much his latest film because it
Hmm.
spoke about child trafficking across
Absolutely.
Colombia and Latin America. And we live here in Ecuador since 2 years.
Okay.
But I want to ask you about your choice to go to the United States because I know usually um, artists from Morocco, Algeria, and Tunis.
Hmm.
They like to go to France, to Belgium, I mean,
Hmm.
francophonic countries. Tell me about your choice to go to America, like Eddie Murphy coming to America.
Yes. Well, there's
What?
yeah, there's
Yes,
two reasons. One is going to France wasn't my choice; it was my parents, and I was 3 years old.
yes,
I'm
hmm,
very grateful for growing up in France because it taught me so much, all my education, everything.
hmm,
But I had a roommate in Paris, and she moved to LA, and she said, "You should come visit." And I came. And I
uh-huh,
remember I went out to a club, and this guy asked me, started flirting with me and asked me, "What's your name?" And I said, Bahia. And he says, "Where's that from?" And I said, "It's Algerian." And he had no idea where Algeria was. And I had to
uh-huh,
mention Morocco and Casablanca, the movie, for him to know. I said, "The Sahara Desert?" And he goes, "Yeah. Oh, And then he
yes,
said, "Wow, that's why you're so beautiful and you're so exotic." And when you grow up in
yes,
France and you say, "My name is Bahia," and they go, "Ah, another," we're the Mexicans there. And so in that,
yes,
in that, what you said, in that, not ignore, in that the fact that he didn't know, ignorance, I found such a freedom. I was like, wow, this is a place where when I say my name, everyone goes, wow. When I say where I'm from, everyone goes, wow. So you could really start with a clean slate, and you can be Algerian here and no one cares. Like, really, like they care more about
yes,
what you do than your ethnic background. And I
for sure.
found there was no racism against me because America didn't have a story with Algeria. So
Yes.
every casting I went to, every audition, and then in my modeling, they were like, "Wow!" So I was like, "There is no reason for me to say or fail and say, oh, it's because I'm from North Africa." Here they think it's
Hmm,
cool. Just like if you
hmm,
Mexican and you go to France, people think it's cool. You
hmm.
know,
Yes.
so
You know, this is the feel when I went to the United States in New York, in Miami, in Los Angeles during film festivals, and afterwards, I met a lot of people not involved in the entertainment industry. Because I think you feel the same. It's a country of immigrants, and everybody is acceptable. You know,
mhm, yes,
and there is no surprise if you say I'm from Egypt, I'm from Algeria, I'm
no,
from an African country, I'm Latino, because
mhm,
everybody is there and they learn how to live together, you know?
yes, yes.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask you as well here. I see that among your filmography also a film about Nefertari as well.
Oh, yes, yes. Yes,
Hmm.
that was,
Yes. So,
um sorry.
yeah, this is about Ramses II, and which role you play there, Nefertari or someone else?
Nefertari, yes. Nefertari, yes.
Yes.
This
Hmm.
came, I swear, it came out of the blue, not from my agent. Um, the producer contacted me directly, and he says, it's 3D, not the 3D, what they call them, where you put the glasses on. It was for a video game originally, and he says, they went to Egypt and they were allowed inside the tombs, and they were able to film, because in order to create the game, they had to create all the rooms and everything with real images, and it was the first time it was ever done. And he said, you have this Egyptian, the nose, the straight nose, Egyptian, and he says it would be to be Nefertari. And I was like, sure, and I did it, and it was all with green screen. And I had to do, it was a voiceover thing, and then they had the costume and everything. It was a wonderful experience, and I learned so much. And I mean, you grew up in Algeria, about Egypt, and my mother with the movies in the 50s. And, I was a belly dancer for a very long time, and the Samia Gamel and the Farid El Hattash, for me, it's like, used to be the Hollywood of the Middle East, And I thought it was an interesting thing that they're doing a video game on that. So, yep.
Yes. Have you been in Algeria recently?
No, no,
Mm,
no, unfortunately. You're going to be surprised to hear I have not been to Algeria since I was born.
really? So you were
Yeah.
born in France and never visited Algeria?
Yeah, I was born in Algeria. My mom took me to France against my father's will. And so the fear, she was afraid to bring me back. And then, because, your father has to sign for you to take your child away. But so that's why I never went back, and until I was 18. And then a few years later, I moved to the US. So I haven't had a chance to go, even though I have tons of Algerian friends that come to LA, and they invite me all the time. And I have family in Algeria. I mean, I could jump on the plane and know where I'm going, but it's one of my future dreams. Yeah.
Yes, sure. And Egypt, have you been in Egypt?
No, my brother has been in Egypt, my mom, my parents, everyone but me. I
Oh,
know.
oh la la.
I know. It's a big deal. Because especially my brother Zach, when he went with his wife, he was like, "Oh man, you should go to Egypt. When you say you're Algerian, they have like they think, we're brothers right away." And I'm like, I know, it's probably really cool. And plus, I gotta tell you, if I go to Egypt, I will probably go with one of the spiritual groups I belong to, frequency light workers, because the pyramids are just at the center of all my spiritual learnings, much more than what we think they are, and so that's, for me, is something that needs to be done in my lifetime, for sure. Yeah.
My wife loves Egypt and the pyramids very much. I've been in Luxor, Aswan, during the festivals, Cairo,
Hmm.
Luxor,
Hmm. Yeah.
Aswan festivals together.
Hmm.
And she loves Egypt. Somebody comes to visit us, we go to see the pyramids when we're there.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah, go
because,
ahead, please.
if someone had asked me, would you like to move to LA, to the US, or South America? I would have said South America. I was always infatuated. I speak a little Spanish, and my first spiritual trip with a energy working group was in Peru, in Machu Picchu, because first it's a stargate, and the other stargates are in Egypt, and there's some in Greece and Israel and all these things. And so for me, Egypt is a really important step, because I plan on visiting every single stargate. And Egypt is you just can't avoid it, especially for an Arabic person. It's it's the beginning of all the history of our people, you know. So it's and just for the beauty of it and the mystery of it, I mean, I think it's a must.
For sure. You know, I've
Mm.
seen as well, you co-starred in Westworld as well,
Yes.
the
Hmm.
television series.
Hmm.
You know, I love science fiction since I went maybe 5 years old to see Star Wars, the first one.
Hmm.
And Westworld as well. You know, I've seen Westworld and Future World, the original two films based on Michael Crichton. And I remember very well your brainer. He was
Hmm.
playing a robot cowboy, and this is the character they based Ed Harris on it, you know, in the
Hmm.
television series.
Hmm.
And you know, quick information in Westworld and Future World, the two films made in the 70s, the point of view, what we call in cinema POV, you
Hmm.
know, of the robot when he scans someone and the information starts to, you know, about his name, you know, his information about it from the point of view of the robot. This is what James Cameron adapted it in the Terminator films, you know, for Arnold
Hmm.
Schwarzenegger. So this is the first film they do like a POV of a robot. But
Hmm.
I love the show. I was not happy they canceled it. You know, I think it was supposed to be 5 seasons or something like that. But tell me about your role there. I think you appeared in two episodes.
Yes. Yes. You know, it's difficult because when you get into this, basically, I play the role of a futuristic psychiatrist that would
Hmm.
fix your brain back, you know, because in the series, you know, there is a lot of things that are being erased and things like
Hmm.
that. And so he's confused, and I'm trying to reset him. And it's a very I mean, it was such an honor and pleasure to play with these you know, pretty famous actors. So I was like and to be in a series where there was a lot of, you know, very well-known celebrities. But when I go in, I usually just try to keep it to my character and my scene. And because usually when you do a series like that, you called in for half a day and then you go home. And I did two half a days, and that's as much as you are involved, you know. So you concentrate as much as you can on that. um, I apparently I do the psychiatrist really well. I guess it's because of my voice or something, but they like at the casting, I didn't have a call back. They said, yes, we want Bahia. It was a very quick, for a big series. I thought it was very quick casting. You know, they said, no, it's her voice.
Yes.
And so
With these eyeglass, you look like a psychiatrist.
I do,
With
I
these
do. You
eyeglass.
know, I
Yes.
forget to take them off. I don't actually need them just to do this. I forget
Yes.
to take them. It's just to read. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So tell me about your dreams, your upcoming projects. But before that, you know, I want to tell you that Westworld philosophically discuss something about, you know, are robots or androids, they have a spirit. They can have human feelings, you know, like love, like
Mhm.
betrayal, like everything. And
Mhm.
I think through your studies and your interests, you know, I mean spiritual interest, yeah, you got very connected with this kind of series, you know, right?
Yes. 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 Because
Hmm.
when I get those scripts, I view it like someone like me knows what AI really is.
Yes.
And
Hmm.
it's not just like what's on paper, what AI is. Oh, it's this new thing, it's robots that is going to do stuff for us.
Hmm.
Um, for me, AI has been existing within the universe for a very long time. We just gave it life. It was
Yes.
waiting for us to have it in our perspective. We just gave a three-dimensional life to AI, but AI galactically has always existed.
Yes.
So it goes very deep. So when I enter a series like that, I come in with all of that. They don't know that that work is done already. So I fit right in because I know exactly what universe, what the message is, what they're trying to tell humanity, all of that. So yeah.
Yeah. So your projects and your dreams for this year and the upcoming period, what you would like to do?
Well, you'll be surprised. It's not anything to do with acting, unless my agent calls, I'll go do it, whatever. But I'm currently opening a spiritual a retreat center. And so we have the property and everything, the house, everything. And it's a place where people that want to do retreats, any kinds of retreat, can rent it. And I want to make it more like a big community center where you could do any types of activities, whether it's spiritual, whether it's yoga, whether it's craft. I'm a big crafty girl, but most of all, also when I have the finances, I want to work with AI, um, energetic healing machines. So I want people to be able to come and get frequency healing. That's the big dream. And I'm going to be doing a lot of guided meditations with my voice that I download, and things like that. That's pretty much where I'm putting all my focus on right now. It's a big task.
That's great. That's great. Bahia, I want to thank you very much for
Thank
coming
you.
for the live, and I wish you all the best in your project and your acting career as well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you searching me out, and I wish you also the best for your channel and what you're doing. I think it's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely afternoon, and we keep in touch. I hope we can have you again as well.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, take care. Bye
Happy
bye.
New Year. Bye.